In the 7th year of my relentless pursuit of Noah, I still hadn't succeeded. Everything changed when the female lead returned to the country and accidentally hit me with her car. She casually remarked, "It's just a woman chasing you, Noah. You wouldn't mind, would you?" Noah simply stared at my broken body in silence. Sensing his hesitation, she added, "If that's not enough, I can marry you to make up for it." Seeing Noah's continued silence, she pouted. Floating above, I smiled bitterly. After years of loving the female lead, Noah finally seemed to see the light. At Belladonna's birthday party, one of Noah's friends teased him. "What about your little follower? Isn't she always trailing behind you? She even said she'd die if you didn't love her." The room erupted in laughter. I had always been their joke, labeled as lovesick, a sycophant, a pest. They claimed I brought shame to women, but I didn't care. This was the system's task, and failure meant death. This was the 7th year of my pursuit, with 3 years left, when I was struck by the car. My soul left my body, and the system declared my early death a mission failure. However, since the deadline hadn't passed, my soul was forced to remain in this world for 3 more years, bound to Noah's side. When Noah heard his friends teasing, he didn't defend me. Instead, he adjusted his collar irritably and glanced toward the door several times. I knew he wasn't looking for me. He had long grown tired of my presence. Now that I was gone, he finally had peace. Moments later, someone noticed the birthday girl hadn't arrived. As chatter filled the room, Noah received a call from Belladonna, who was crying. "Noah, I've been in an accident," she sobbed. Noah's anxiety was palpable as he rushed to her side, asking, "Where are you? Are you hurt?" She replied, "I'm on the side of the road. I'm so scared." Noah assured her, "Don't be afraid. I'll be right there." He hung up and hurried to the scene, with many guests following. The female lead was always the center of attention, adored by everyone. The original plot had her settling abroad with the male lead, leaving Noah, the devoted second male lead, to spiral into depression and ultimately take his own life 3 years later. My task was to make Noah fall in love with me before that happened, saving his tormented life. But for some reason, after the story concluded, the female lead abandoned the male lead and returned to the country. Today was her birthday party, also a welcome celebration, attended by many. When the accident occurred, a crowd gathered at the scene. Noah called out nervously, "Belladonna, how are you?" She replied, "I'm fine," but then added despairingly, "But I killed someone. What should I do?" Everyone's attention turned to the body on the ground. The face was obscured, and the blood made identification impossible. Even I couldn't recognize myself. For a moment, it seemed Noah's body trembled slightly, as if in disbelief. Someone asked, "Have you called the police?" Belladonna, frightened and disoriented, clung to Noah, who remained silent, his eyes fixed on the body. A tear seemed to glisten in his eyes, but when I looked closer, there was nothing. Others called the police, and soon they arrived. Belladonna was taken to the station, and my body was sent for an autopsy. No one saw my face. After giving her statement, Belladonna was released on bail. Noah stayed by her side, accompanied by her best friend, Lilith. On the way back, Lilith comforted Belladonna, saying, "Don't be too sad. It wasn't intentional. She should have been more careful instead of rushing out and causing trouble." Even in death, I was blamed. I laughed from above. I had been killed by Belladonna, yet it was considered my fault. I watched Noah, his lips pressed tightly together as he drove in silence. There was no point in expecting anything. The female lead was adored by everyone. Whatever she did was right. Killing someone, moving on, it didn't matter. Years ago, she and Noah had been childhood sweethearts, deeply in love. But when the male lead appeared, she inevitably chose him, claiming that true love might be late but would never be absent. Everyone found the female lead's quest for true love incredibly inspiring. Lilith comforted Belladonna for a while, then suddenly remembered something and turned to Noah, saying, "Oh, I haven't seen Sienna today. She was always following you. It's unusual not to have her around." Noah's expression remained indifferent, but Belladonna's reaction to the mention of my name was somewhat strange. Did she also know that the person she had killed was me? Lilith continued, "Belladonna, you remember Sienna, right? Before you went abroad, she was always clinging to Noah. Even though she knew Noah liked you, she shamelessly pursued him after you left. In fact, She became even more aggressive, almost throwing herself at him. I've never seen someone so shameless. Even when Noah said he didn't like her, she still brought him breakfast every day. Oh, and she even copied you, your style, your expressions. But her imitation was as ridiculous as a clown trying to mimic a queen. She could never match your grace or charm. Lilith grew more animated as she spoke, but Noah suddenly interrupted. His voice cold and sharp, "Enough, Lilith." Lilith was momentarily stunned, perhaps shocked by Noah's harsh tone. Belladonna also looked at him in surprise, clearly confused by his reaction. I too was taken aback. Belladonna quickly tried to ease the tension, saying, Noah must feel embarrassed having someone like that obsessed with him. Lilith, stop talking. Lilith seemed to understand and nodded quickly. Yes, it's truly embarrassing. I laughed silently, bitterly mocking myself. So, loving Noah was an embarrassment to him? If I had known earlier, I would have asked the system to end the mission sooner. But now it's fine. I'm dead, and I'll never embarrass him again. Lilith, perhaps fearing Noah's anger, changed the subject. Belladonna, have you contacted a lawyer? I heard that in traffic accidents like yours, as long as you're not fully at fault and compensation is handled, you can avoid criminal charges. Belladonna replied, I haven't contacted one yet. I just returned to the country and don't really know anyone. Noah interjected abruptly. I'll help you find one, his tone decisive. Belladonna was thrilled and said excitedly, Thank you, Noah. I knew you'd be the best to me. Lilith chimed in. Noah has always been the best to you. The bond you two share since childhood can't be replaced. Some people really overestimate themselves. Belladonna quickly added, All right, Lilith, stop talking. Just then, the car stopped at Belladonna's doorstep. She opened the door and turned to Noah, saying, Noah, could you come inside with me? I'm scared to be alone. Noah coldly refused. Let Lilith accompany you. I'll contact the lawyer. Belladonna looked disappointed, but Lilith quickly smoothed things over. Belladonna, I'll stay with you. Let Noah handle the legal matters, that's the most important thing. Once the case is settled, you'll have plenty of time with Noah. Belladonna smiled shyly and said, Noah, I really appreciate your help. Noah nodded slightly. After Belladonna and Lilith got out of the car, Noah drove away. I was forced to follow him and ended up at his house. His first task was to call a familiar lawyer to discuss Belladonna's accident, arranging for the lawyer to come to his house. Then he went to his study and searched whether a traffic accident resulting in death could avoid criminal charges. The top results stated that accidents resulting in death during normal driving generally do not lead to imprisonment, as they don't violate traffic regulations or constitute traffic manslaughter. However, the driver is still responsible for civil compensation, and as long as compensation is made, it's sufficient. I noticed Noah's face relax slightly, perhaps relieved. Soon, the lawyer arrived. After understanding the situation, the lawyer confidently assured, Mr. Noah, don't worry. Leave it to me. I guarantee Miss Belladonna won't face imprisonment. Noah's expression was mixed at that moment. Then, the police station called. Hello, are you Sienna's relative? I saw Noah's hand tighten around the phone. He didn't answer immediately. Yes, he finally said. The police continued. Sienna was in an accident. The only number found on her broken phone is yours. Do you know her? I saw Noah's throat move slightly as he replied. His voice hoarse, yes. The police asked, could you inform her family? Noah hesitated, then said, she has no family. She was an orphan. As someone sent by the system to complete the task, I had nothing in this world. The police then asked, could you come to the police station? Noah agreed. He went with the lawyer, and Belladonna accompanied them. When they left the police station, the police said they would contact the family of the deceased and then negotiate a resolution. They returned to the mediation room, where the police explained the next steps. We have confirmed the identity of the deceased. It is Sienna. Sienna was an orphan. She had no relatives. You are her only friend, so you can make demands of the responsible party. Noah looked at Belladonna. Belladonna, with tear-filled eyes, was clearly upset. I really didn't expect that the person I hit would turn out to be Sienna. I was in a panic at that moment, she whispered. Can I see the body? For the first time, Noah addressed the police, ignoring the injured Belladonna. The policeman nodded. The group headed to the morgue. Everyone saw my mangled body. The accident had already left me in a terrible state, and the autopsy made the picture even more grim. Belladonna barely held back her vomit at the sight of the body. I noticed the policeman frown. It seemed he was the only one who showed some disgust at Belladonna's behavior. Belladonna apparently realized that her reaction was inappropriate and forced herself to look at my body. The policeman informed Noah of the cause of death. The deceased had a head injury with internal bleeding, and she was struck by a vehicle, which led to instantaneous death. Noah nodded silently. I could not discern any emotions in him, as if he was just accepting the fact. But when Belladonna reached out to Noah, he abruptly pushed her away. Belladonna looked at Noah with disbelief. I was shocked too. After all, Noah had always been obedient to Belladonna, never causing her pain, let alone rejecting her closeness. Noah, Belladonna's eyes filled with tears. Are you angry with me? Noah didn't answer. His gaze remained fixed on my body. Are you angry because of such a shameless woman like me? Belladonna's voice suddenly turned self-assured, as if she had every right to behave this way, even after being the cause of a death. How do you know she is a woman appointed by the system? Noah replied sharply. Indeed, I was surprised too. Hovering above them, I remembered how I had only told Noah about my situation after many refusals, in a drunken stupor. I couldn't hold it back and revealed my secret to him, saying that if I failed the mission, I would die, and I didn't want to die. I wanted to be with him forever. So if Noah didn't tell Belladonna, how could she know? I noticed a flash of panic in Belladonna's eyes, but she quickly composed herself and calmly said, because I heard Sienna talk about it herself. I had only told Noah, but now that was impossible to prove. Noah didn't doubt Belladonna and didn't pursue the topic further, although his attitude towards her remained cold. Noah, you know that women appointed by the system have no hearts. They are just tools to achieve their goals. Her death means nothing. Perhaps she is already in another world, carrying out other tasks. You are just a passerby in her life, Belladonna said sincerely. But I am not like that. My only goal was Noah. Before becoming a conqueror, I was an orphan. Growing up, I became a teacher, but on my very first day at work, I died saving a schoolgirl from bullying. After my death, the system found me, said that my sacrifice was heroic, and offered me a second chance on the condition that I conquer Noah. Failing meant final death. Belladonna continued without waiting for an answer from Noah. So for Sienna, you were just a tool, Noah. Do you really intend to waste your feelings on someone like her? Noah looked at Belladonna. Their gazes met, and deep emotions were read in them. In fact, I told Noah that I would stay with him if I succeeded because the system said that in my world, I was already dead and could not return. So if I succeeded, I would stay with Noah forever. But Noah did not believe this. He only trusted the main heroine, Belladonna. Belladonna's expression changed when she looked at Noah. It was no longer cold. She reached out to Noah again, and this time he did not push her away. Perhaps his earlier impulsiveness was caused by a human instinct to respect life.
She coquettishly said to Noah, "Don't be angry. If Sienna is dead, I'll make it up to you." I floated above, my smile bleak. After loving the female lead for so many years, Noah finally saw the light. "How will you make it up?" Noah asked Belladonna, a hint of unidentifiable harshness in his eyes. I must have been mistaken. How could Noah show such a look to the female lead? "Oh," Belladonna said with a charming pout, her face turning red. "You already know." Noah didn't reply. The police couldn't stand it any longer. This is a morgue. Are you not afraid of offending the deceased with your flirtatious behavior? Especially since this person was killed by you. Are you still in the mood to flirt with men? The female lead looked at the police in disbelief. As the favored female lead, she had never been scolded so directly in her life, her face flushing with embarrassment. "There are the deceased's personal belongings here. Since you're her only friend, you should take them," the police said to Noah, not offering any better attitude. Noah followed the police to collect my belongings from the accident. I floated anxiously, not wanting Noah to see them, but I couldn't stop it. I could only watch as the police handed Noah a blood-stained purse and a broken phone. Noah took them in his hands. His fingers tightened. "Check the contents," the police reminded. Noah opened the purse, and Belladonna, curious, craned her neck to see what was inside. The purse contained some typical female items: tissues, a mirror, a lipstick, and a foundation. Then, Noah found a delicate little box. I saw Noah's hand tremble slightly. Belladonna asked, "What is this?" Noah opened it. Inside were 2 matching couples rings. Yes, I had planned to propose to Noah. I could sense Noah's changing feelings towards me. After the female lead left, he began to accept me more. Recently, when I gave him breakfast, he accepted it. Although he commented the taste wasn't great, he no longer turned and walked away immediately, or threw the breakfast box in the trash right in front of me. I thought I saw hope. But upon learning that the female lead was coming back, I panicked. I bought wedding rings, planning to propose to Noah. I was terrified that he might once again reject me because of the female lead. With a heavy heart, I attended the female lead's welcome back party, worriedly crossed the street, and was struck by an oncoming car. Now that I'm dead, I don't want Noah to see my sentimental gestures. There would be no result, only ridicule. At that moment, I saw Belladonna sneer. "Noah, she didn't actually think of proposing to you, did she? Not to mention you would never agree, how could she dare with such cheap rings?" Indeed, I didn't have much money. Without success in conquering, I had to struggle on my own. While chasing after Noah and working to earn money, I managed to buy these 2 platinum rings with my utmost effort. Noah didn't speak, staring blankly at the rings. Belladonna looked displeased. "Noah, are you moved?" "No." Noah closed the box. He said, "Belladonna, let's get married." I laughed. I laughed so hard that tears came out. I thought that death would end the pain, but I didn't expect it to be so heart-wrenching. After being by Noah's side for 7 years, I couldn't compete with the female lead's single glance. How foolish was I to think of proposing to Noah and competing with the female lead in this way. No, it's not about competing. The female lead didn't have to do anything, she just had to be there, and she won. And I, lost in a miserable, disastrous way. Belladonna was surprised. She looked at Noah, perhaps not expecting him to say such a thing suddenly. I was dead, there should be some decorum. At least wait a few days or change the location. Noah didn't care and proposed to the female lead right there. "Noah, I came back for you," Belladonna said, deeply moved. "After leaving you, I realized you're the best person for me in this world. I regret it. I promise," Belladonna said sincerely, "I won't leave you again." Noah nodded, silently. At that moment, I seemed to see tears in his eyes. He finally got what he wanted. Noah and Belladonna's wedding quickly became the talk of the town. The date was set for the 18th of next month. Belladonna's traffic accident was resolved entirely within 10 days thanks to a capable lawyer. No prison time, no probation, just a 2-year revocation of her driving license. Since I had no family, even distant relatives, the large compensation was ultimately collected by the Civil Affairs Department on behalf of the state. As for my body, Noah kindly arranged for my cremation. No funeral was held. He placed my ashes in the bone tower at the ancient Buddha temple. From then on, we had no more connections. Next, Noah and the female lead only needed to await their wedding. To say there were no grievances would be a lie. I don't understand why some people are born as the female lead. Why is everything they do forgiven? Why do all the men in the world revolve around them? Are others just meant to be cannon fodder? There are 3 days left until Noah and Belladonna's wedding. In the middle of the night, Noah accidentally pulled out my phone and found my diary. Countdown, 10 years. I met my target for conquest, a very handsome guy. But his gaze towards me is so cold. It's okay, with 10 years, I'm sure I can do it. Countdown, 9 years and 5 months. What should I do? For 7 whole months, Noah hasn't even glanced at me. I haven't even reached him, and he's already walked away coldly. At this rate, he might not even know my name before the system kills me. Countdown, 8 years and 10 months. It's been a year and 4 months since the conquest started, and I still can't get close to Noah. I'm so sad. Countdown, 8 years. It seems like Noah looked at me today. I was so happy that I couldn't sleep all night. Keep going. Sienna, you can do it. Countdown, 7 years and 6 months. The female lead accepted the male lead's proposal. Noah is so heartbroken. Although I can only watch from afar, he cried like a little bunny, and it's truly heartbreaking. What should I do? I think I might actually like Noah. Not just in a conquest sense, but genuinely feel Noah is pitiable. As expected, the devoted second male lead loves everyone except the female lead. Countdown, 6 years and 10 months. Is it just my illusion? It seems Noah isn't as bothered by me anymore. Although he still threw the breakfast I made him into the trash. What a bad guy. I wake up at 5 a.m. every day to prepare him a loving breakfast, and he doesn't even glance at it. If I ever win him over, I'll make him prepare breakfast for me for the rest of his life. Countdown, 6 years. Noah cried again. Today, the female lead and male lead got married. They had a grand wedding. Noah was hiding in a corner alone, crying like a dog. What should I do? I really want to hug him, but I'm too scared. He would definitely push me away and call me a pervert. Countdown, 5 years and 1 month. The female lead and male lead had a fight. The female lead came to find Noah. So annoying. Noah will definitely feel heartbroken seeing the female lead upset. Damn it. I'm standing downstairs, getting bitten by mosquitoes all over, and I'm too scared to go upstairs and disturb them. The late night snack in my hand has gone cold. Just like my heart, cold and numb. Countdown, 4 years and 3 months. The plot should be ending soon, right? After it ends, the female lead will go abroad with the male lead. Without the female lead around, Noah won't have to revolve around her. Does that mean I have a chance? Countdown, 4 years. The female lead finally left. Noah doesn't seem as sad as I expected. Has he accepted it? Or is he resigned to it? I don't care, I'm going to launch a full-scale attack. I can't die. Noah can't die either. I won't let him follow the original plot, falling into depression and committing suicide after the female lead leaves. Countdown, 3 years and 9 months. Noah really doesn't seem very upset about the female lead leaving. I clearly see that after the female lead left, he even seemed to smile more. Is he just putting on a brave face? Countdown, 3 years and 5 days. Noah ate my breakfast. Even though he said it didn't taste good. But he accepted it. Does that mean he's starting to accept me? What should I do? My heart is racing. I can't stop it. After 7 years, is the dawn finally here? Countdown, 3 years and 4 days. What? The female lead returned to the country? This isn't like the original plot at all. It also says the female lead and male lead are already divorced. What's going on? Are fairy tales all lies? What should I do? What about Noah? I'm panicking, completely panicking. Could Noah have fallen back in love with the female lead? I worked so hard for him to accept me? No way. I can't let the female lead come back and ruin my relationship with Noah. I need to propose to him in public. I need to tell him. Before, it might have been to save my life, but now it's really love. I love him. I love him so much. The diary ends here because I died. I saw Noah with his head bowed. I couldn't see his expression. He probably just felt indifferent. Because the next moment, he took the initiative to call the female lead and said, "Belladonna, can you come to my house?" As expected. My love only makes him feel disgusted and sick. He needs the female lead to cleanse his mind and body. Belladonna soon arrived at Noah's house. Even at this late hour, she had dressed up meticulously. Even her outfit was carefully chosen. Her seemingly pure white dress revealed her red underwear through the thin fabric, and the neckline was a low-cut design, exposing everything with a slight bend. Noah had prepared a candlelit dinner before Belladonna arrived. In the dim light, the dining table by the floor-to-ceiling window, bathed in the night's glow, looked dreamlike. It turns out Noah could be quite romantic. "Noah, why did you ask me to come over so late?" Belladonna's cheeks were flushed, and her eyes sparkled with emotion. "I missed you. I missed you too, Belladonna replied with a shy smile. Noah stood up to pour wine for her. He said, Belladonna, let's celebrate tonight and not stop until we're drunk. Belladonna nodded. Her rosy face grew even softer and more charming. She seemed to understand what Noah wanted with the wine tonight. Adults always need a reason to do things they can't control. The two drank a lot. Belladonna's drunk eyes looked even more enchanting. She asked, Noah, will you dislike me? Noah looked at her with a gaze that seemed a bit dazed. I was once married, Belladonna said, tears welling up in her eyes, making her look pitiful. No, I won't dislike you, Noah said firmly. I knew it. Belladonna took Noah's hand in hers. I knew you're the best man in the world for me. No matter what I've done, you'll accept me unconditionally. Noah lowered his eyes, a vague smile on his face. So, you deliberately killed Sienna, didn't you? Noah asked. Belladonna paused for a moment. I hovered above, watching them with indifference. If I could, I'd want to leave this world as soon as possible, even if it meant dying forever. I didn't do it on purpose, Belladonna shook her head. I was in a hurry to get to the party and didn't see her. No, you did it deliberately. Because you knew that no matter what you did, I'd forgive you. Noah, it's okay, tell me the truth. Noah moved closer to Belladonna and lifted her chin. Let me know that you truly love me. That you loved me so much that you ran over the woman who was bothering me. You think she was affecting our relationship, don't you? Belladonna looked at Noah with an innocent expression and said, Are you doubting my feelings for you? You used to like him so much. That him clearly referred to the male lead. It seems Noah was afraid that the female lead's feelings for him were just a passing whim. Yes, Belladonna admitted suddenly, her face red. Even though there was a hint of cruelty in her eyes, she still looked stunning. I deliberately ran over Sienna. Noah's hand holding the wine glass seemed to tighten. On that day, I saw Sienna crossing the street from a distance. She seemed to be lost in thought and didn't see the car coming. By the time she reacted, I had already run her over. I didn't stop after hitting her, I deliberately drove over her face. Belladonna grew more triumphant as she spoke, her smile becoming more sinister. What right did she have to cling to you? She should have looked in the mirror and seen how insignificant she was. People like her deserved to die. You don't know how satisfying it was to see her lying on the ground, unmoving. Was it satisfying? Noah asked. Don't you think it's a great relief? She's been bothering you for so many years, didn't you find it annoying? Now that I've solved such a big problem for you, aren't you happy? Belladonna asked. Yes, Noah nodded. He nodded silently, drinking his wine, a smile on his lips, which seemed to bring tears to his eyes. I floated above, finding it all ridiculous. I felt like a joke. Aren't you afraid the police will discover you did it on purpose? Noah asked. Why would they? Belladonna said. I'm the female lead. How could I be sentenced? Everything I do is right. The death of Sienna will just be categorized as a regular traffic accident. Is that so? Of course. Belladonna said confidently, rubbing her head as if she was quite drunk. Noah, do you believe I love you now? I do. Then shall we? Belladonna said seductively, go to bed? Are you trying to seduce me? Noah raised an eyebrow. Do you need me to seduce you? Belladonna asked triumphantly. I want to see how you'll react to my seduction. Belladonna, blushing, complained, I knew all men are the same. But the next moment, she stood up and boldly began to perform a striptease in front of Noah. Her twisting body was filled with lasciviousness, completely different from the pure image she normally projected. Even I felt it was quite eye-watering. But men probably like this sort of thing. Noah was likely moved, seeing how far the female lead went to get him. Although Belladonna looked like she was enjoying it immensely. At the end of the performance, Belladonna threw herself into Noah's arms. She wrapped her arms around his neck and leaned in for a kiss, but Noah pulled away. I'll take you home, Noah said plainly. Noah? Belladonna's face clearly showed displeasure, her eyes filled with desire. Stay with me on the wedding night. Why? I think that day would be better. I want today. As she spoke, Belladonna tried to kiss Noah again, but he pushed her away. He threw a piece of clothing to Belladonna and said, "I'll take you home," before heading out the door. I saw the anger in Belladonna's eyes. She probably couldn't understand why Noah had rejected her. I didn't understand either. How could Noah refuse her? 3 days later. The wedding day of Noah and Belladonna. In these 3 days, Noah had not contacted Belladonna at all. Belladonna, with her own temper, hadn't reached out to Noah either. But their wedding came as scheduled. Noah got up early that morning and prepared breakfast. Perhaps he was too excited, as he made 2 portions, one for himself and one for the seat across from him. He ate silently, glancing at the untouched breakfast across from him before slowly heading out. The wedding was grand, with notable figures from all walks of life attending. At 12:08 p.m. on this auspicious day, the wedding ceremony officially began. Noah and Belladonna appeared before the crowd. The couple was a perfect match, making others envious. Compliments filled the air, along with sarcastic remarks aimed at me. Isn't it ridiculous for Sienna to compete with Belladonna for Noah? Belladonna just stands there and instantly overshadows her. Even the heavens must have been fed up, making Sienna die. How self-deluded she was. I actually regret Sienna's death. She should have witnessed this scene and been tormented. I saw it all but felt no pain. I no longer cared for Noah, everything seemed like a show to me. The host, with enthusiasm, gave the opening speech and excitedly announced, "Before we start the ceremony, our groom, Mr. Noah, has prepared a surprise for the bride, Miss Belladonna. Please look at the big screen." Everyone's gaze turned toward the screen as the lights dimmed. The screen displayed footage from that night, showing Belladonna seducing Noah. There was no censorship, Belladonna's figure was on full display. Her gaze was provocatively sultry. The crowd was stunned. Whispers began, "No way? Did they play the wrong video? Oh my God, is that really Belladonna? How could she be so provocative? Isn't she supposed to be pure? Could this be AI generated? How could Belladonna be like this? It's not AI. I work in tech, and AI can't achieve this level," someone clarified. Belladonna stood frozen, eyes red, staring at Noah. She suddenly shouted, "You forced me into doing this and even posted the video. Don't you think you're disgusting, Noah?" At her outburst, everyone began to sympathize with Belladonna. Noah is too much. Is he retaliating for Belladonna abandoning him before? If he dislikes her, he shouldn't have married her. What kind of man is this? As a man, I look down on Noah. Just as everyone was highly dissatisfied with Noah, the screen displayed Belladonna's monologue. It showed Belladonna alone in Noah's house after he left. Her face was no longer masked, it was sinister and wicked. She said, "Noah, did you really think I loved you? It's laughable. Just a secondary male character. I'm the female lead. I can discard the main character and still be devoted to you. It's just a game. Once I'm bored, I'll find another man. I'm the female lead. All the men in this world should be mine." The crowd was once again stunned. No one could believe Belladonna had said this. Her pure appearance was a facade, and her true feelings were so irresponsible. At this moment, the screen switched to footage of the male lead. He bluntly said, "I didn't want to hold this against Belladonna, but she really shattered my worldview. After our marriage, she cheated 6 times. I hope anyone who marries her will think carefully." The room exploded. My God. So Belladonna is like this. Could this be a smear campaign? But Belladonna did get married to Noah immediately after her divorce. Think about it. Sienna was killed by her. Not only did she show no remorse, but she married Noah less than a month after Sienna's death. A normal person couldn't do that. I saw Belladonna on the verge of breaking down. She couldn't believe that as the female lead, she was being betrayed. She should be right about everything. While she was still processing this, the lights in the banquet hall came on, and several police officers walked in, directly handcuffing Belladonna. We received a report that you are suspected of intentional murder. Please come with us to the police station. I didn't. Who did I kill? Belladonna rejected, clearly distressed. Sienna, the officer said sternly. We have evidence of your confession and have re-examined the scene and conducted repeated tests on the traffic accident, determining that you are suspected of intentional murder. I didn't. Noah forced me to say that. I'm not going. Belladonna protested. Whether or not, you'll find out at the police station. The officers ignored her explanations, handcuffing Belladonna and forcing her to leave. No, let go of me, let go of me. Belladonna screamed. Dragged away by the police, she was in a pitiful state. As she left, I heard her saying, I'm the female lead, how can you treat me like this? I'm the female lead. The wedding ended in a farce. Later, Noah hired the best lawyer, leading to Belladonna being sentenced to death. Until the very end, she couldn't believe such an outcome. She was the female lead. Everything she did was supposed to be right, how could she possibly be sentenced to death? As she was taken away from the court, many people were waiting outside. Belladonna, with tears in her eyes, tried to elicit sympathy. But to her surprise, she was bombarded with countless rotten eggs and leaves. People were cursing her, and the harsh words were ones Belladonna had never heard in her life. I floated above, watching Belladonna's miserable expression. Who said there was no sense of revenge? Of course, when someone is dead, feelings don't matter much. I couldn't even feel grateful for what Noah had done. I remained floating, following Noah back to his home. He took out my belongings, one by one, carefully. Finally, he took out the wedding rings. He put the men's ring on his ring finger and kissed the women's ring. He said, Sienna, I'm willing. I found it somewhat amusing. I was dead, who was he doing this for? Was he moving himself? Anyway, I really felt nothing at all. I just hoped to leave his side quickly, even if it meant eternal rest. Don't be afraid, I'm here with you. Noah walked to the balcony and, without hesitation, jumped from the 16th floor. He ended his life 3 years earlier than in the original plot. I was momentarily dazed. The system suddenly appeared, Master. I was startled, still watching Noah's mangled body on the ground. His death was as gruesome as mine. Congratulations, Master. The mission is complete. What? I didn't understand. Although you are dead, the period was 10 years. Now, the conqueror has fallen in love with you, so you have succeeded in your conquest. But didn't you say before that I'd fail if I died? I was afraid you'd be disappointed. So I succeeded. What can I do now? Am I supposed to remain a ghost forever? After my persistent efforts, the higher-ups have finally agreed to let you return to your original world. Before I could ask more, the system said, Master, we'll meet again if there's a chance. No, let's not meet again in the future. I wish you a peaceful and smooth life. Everything went white before my eyes. It felt like I could see nothing anymore. Yet I seemed to see Noah's figure, frantically running toward me. Epilogue. Noah's perspective. Only when I truly saw Sienna's body did I believe she was really dead. The woman who was always by my side, telling me she loved me, was gone. I didn't understand why my heart ached so much. I thought I didn't love her that much. Sometimes I even found her annoying. But now she's dead, why am I so sad? I want to kill Belladonna. It was Belladonna who killed Sienna. But clearly, I've loved Belladonna since childhood. I could feel Belladonna's proactive affection for me. After so many years, I finally got what I wanted. Why do I feel no happiness at all, but instead a deep sense of discomfort? Later, I understood. Because I loved Sienna. I don't know when it happened, but I truly fell in love with her. I always thought I'd only love Belladonna. I don't know why Belladonna became an indelible mark in my heart. She never did anything for me, and I had never cherished her feelings, unlike Sienna, who would have given her heart to me. I also realized. Because Belladonna is the female lead. The female lead gets all the love in the world. But why? Why does someone get to be the protagonist from birth? Even if she doesn't try at all, even if she's extremely nasty. So I wanted to see if I could make the female lead be abandoned by the whole world. Could she also experience what it's like to be unloved by everyone? Just like Sienna. She worked so hard, why was she so miserable? So I proposed to Belladonna. I wanted to, in front of everyone, tear off Belladonna's disguise. I succeeded. I deliberately got Belladonna drunk and obtained evidence of her intentionally killing Sienna. It turned out she really did it on purpose. Because she knew she was the female lead, she was fearless. I even made her flaunt herself. She did it and even enjoyed it. I thought that was enough. But I didn't expect Belladonna to be even more disgusting. She married me not out of love, but just to experience one man after another. Why does someone like her get to be the female lead? Why couldn't Sienna? I exposed all of Belladonna's vile actions at our wedding. I refuse to believe that this world truly tolerates her just because she's the female lead. In reality, the heavens are fair. Belladonna's reputation was ruined, and she was imprisoned, facing execution. Revenge was served. I don't know what else there is to live for. Sienna's journal said that according to the original plot, I could still live for 3 more years. 3 years is too long. Without Sienna, I can't live even a single day. I took out the ring Sienna had bought in her lifetime. I am willing. But Sienna can no longer hear it. I jumped from the building. It must have been a gruesome death. But I didn't expect that even in death, the soul could still drift away. I floated in the air, looking at my grotesque body with no trace of sorrow, only a sense of deservedness. Deserved for betraying Sienna. The next moment, I seemed to see Sienna's figure. I frantically chased after her, but as I got closer, she suddenly vanished. It felt like an illusion. I couldn't believe it and searched everywhere for Sienna. She must hate me and is hiding away. She must be near me. But I searched for a long time. A long, long time. I don't know how many years passed. Until a voice suddenly appeared in my ear. Congratulations, Master. You have been selected as a conqueror. Are you willing to accept the conquest mission? If successful, you can live again. I refuse. I declined immediately. Why should I conquer someone else? I only love Sienna. The target of conquest is Sienna. I was stunned. Yes, the Sienna who was once your conqueror. I accept. I eagerly agreed. As long as it's Sienna, I'm willing to do anything. Then I will take you to Sienna's world immediately. The system said. And then I saw Sienna. She stood on the podium, radiant with a brilliance I had never seen before. The system said, I will give you a new identity. As long as you can make Sienna fall in love with you, it will be considered a successful conquest. The period is 10 years. If you fail, I will take you away from this world forever. With those words, I became an 18-year-old high school senior, standing in front of Sienna. Sienna didn't recognize me. She simply introduced me and had me sit in the last row. I didn't leave. I just cried until my eyes were red. She frowned at me. What's wrong, Noah? My eyes are uncomfortable, I said. Teacher, can you take a look? Sienna didn't refuse. I knelt down, meeting her pure gaze. Sienna. I promise you. Every day from now on, I will make you breakfast. That I love you that I never got to say, I will say it every day. This time, even if I don't succeed in conquering you, I will use my limited time to truly accompany and protect you.